Hello there, beautiful learners. I'm Aurora, and welcome back to English with Aurora. Today, I'm going to share something incredibly powerful with you, 40 English phrases that will transform the way you sound when you speak English. These aren't just random phrases I found in a textbook. These are the exact expressions that will make you sound confident, professional, and completely fluent, even if you're still learning. Have you ever been in a situation where you knew what you wanted to say in English, but when the words came out of your mouth, they sounded? Well, let's just say they didn't sound as confident as you felt inside. I know that feeling, and I know exactly how frustrating it can be. But here's the thing, confidence in English isn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about knowing the right phrases that native speakers use naturally. Today's video is different. By the end of these next 20 minutes, you'll have 40 powerful phrases in your mental toolbox. These phrases will help you in job interviews, business meetings, casual conversations with friends, and even when you're ordering coffee at that cute cafe down the street. Are you ready to sound more confident than ever before? Let's dive in. The foundation phrases, setting your confident tone. Let me start with something crucial. Confident English speakers don't just say things differently, they approach conversations differently. The first group of phrases I want to share with you are what I call foundation phrases. These are expressions that immediately establish your confidence from the very beginning of any conversation. I appreciate you taking the time to. This phrase is pure gold. Instead of saying thank you for, which sounds basic, you say, I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today, or I appreciate you taking the time to explain this to me. It shows respect while positioning you as someone who values their own time as well. I'd like to share my perspective on this. Notice how this sounds so much more confident than I think that. When you say, I'd like to share my perspective, you're not just offering an opinion, you're contributing valuable insight. Use this in meetings, discussions, or even casual debates with friends. Here's one that completely changed how I communicate. I'm confident that, instead of saying, I think this will work, try, I'm confident that this approach will deliver the results we're looking for. Do you hear the difference? The energy completely shifts. Let me tell you a quick story. Last month, my friend Sarah had a job interview for a marketing position. She was nervous and kept practicing phrases like, I hope I can, and maybe I could. But then we worked together on replacing those with confident alternatives. Instead of I hope I can contribute to your team, she said, I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to your team's success. Instead of maybe I could handle social media, she said, I'm confident in my ability to elevate your social media presence. Guess what? She got the job, and her interviewer specifically mentioned how confident and professional she sounded. Professional power, phrases asterisk. Now let's talk about professional situations. Whether you're in a business meeting, giving a presentation, or networking at an event, these phrases will make you sound like the expert you are. Based on my experience, this phrase immediately establishes your credibility. You're not just sharing random thoughts, you're speaking from expertise. Based on my experience in customer service, I believe this approach will resonate well with our clients. I'd be happy to take the lead on this. Notice I didn't say, I can do this if you want. Confident speakers offer their skills decisively. They don't leave room for doubt about their capabilities. Let me walk you through my thought process. This phrase is brilliant because it positions you as someone who thinks strategically. You're not just giving answers, you're sharing your analytical approach. I see this as an opportunity too. Confident people don't see problems, they see opportunities. Instead of saying, this is difficult, try, I see this as an opportunity to showcase our creative problem-solving skills. Here's a phrase that works magic in presentations. What I find particularly interesting about this is, this shows you're not just presenting information, you're providing insights. You're thinking critically and adding value. I'm committed to ensuring. This phrase shows dedication and reliability. I'm committed to ensuring this project exceeds expectations. Sounds so much more powerful than I'll try my best. Social confidence boosters. Confidence isn't just for the workplace. You want to sound confident when you're making friends, having casual conversations, or even when you're traveling. These phrases will help you navigate social situations with ease. I'm really passionate about. When someone asks about your interests, don't just say, I like. Say, I'm really passionate about photography, or I'm really passionate about learning new languages. Passion is attractive and memorable. I've been exploring. This phrase makes you sound curious and growth-minded. I've been exploring different cuisines lately. Sounds so much more interesting than I've been eating different foods. I find it fascinating how. Use this when you want to show genuine interest in what someone is telling you. I find it fascinating how you managed to learn 3 languages while working full-time. It shows you're actively listening and thinking deeply about what they're sharing. From my perspective, this is perfect for sharing opinions without sounding aggressive or dismissive. From my perspective, traveling solo actually helps you connect more deeply with local cultures. Let me share another story. My student Maria used to struggle with small talk. She would give one-word answers and felt like conversations always died quickly. But when she started using phrases like I'm really passionate about, and I find it fascinating how, her conversations completely transformed. People started seeking her out at social events because she became such an engaging conversationalist. Phrases for handling difficult situations. Now, here's where confidence really matters, when you're dealing with challenging situations. Maybe someone disagrees with you, maybe there's a misunderstanding, or maybe you need to set boundaries. These phrases will help you handle these moments with grace and authority. I understand your concern, and here's how I see it. This phrase acknowledges the other person while maintaining your position. You're not being defensive, you're being diplomatic yet firm. I appreciate that perspective, and I'd like to offer another way to look at this. This is perfect for disagreements. You're showing respect while confidently presenting your viewpoint. I need to clarify something important. Use this when there's been a misunderstanding. It shows you're taking control of the situation professionally. I'm not comfortable with that approach because this is essential for setting boundaries. You're not just saying no, you're explaining your reasoning, which commands respect. Let me be clear about my expectations. This phrase is powerful for both professional and personal situations. It shows you know what you want, and you're not afraid to communicate it. Building agreement and moving forward. Confident speakers don't just state their opinions, they build consensus and drive action. These phrases will help you lead conversations toward positive outcomes. I think we can all agree that this phrase helps you identify common ground. I think we can all agree that customer satisfaction should be our top priority. The way I see it, we have an opportunity too. This positions you as a solution-oriented thinker. You're not just identifying issues, you're seeing possibilities. I propose we. This is much more confident than maybe we could. Or what if we? You're taking leadership and offering direction. I'm confident we can find a solution that works for everyone. This phrase shows optimism and problem-solving skills. It positions you as someone who builds bridges rather than creates divisions. Expressing opinions with authority. One area where many English learners struggle is expressing opinions confidently. They use weak phrases like, I think maybe, or it's possible that. Let's replace those with phrases that show conviction. I'm convinced that. This is so much stronger than I think that. I'm convinced that investing in employee training will improve our retention rates. There's no doubt in my mind that. Use this when you want to express strong conviction. There's no doubt in my mind that this product will revolutionize the market. I stand by my recommendation that. This phrase shows you're willing to back up your suggestions with your reputation. I'm firmly convinced that. This adds even more weight to your opinions. It shows you've thought carefully and reached a solid conclusion. Phrases for showing expertise and knowledge asterisk. When you want to demonstrate your knowledge without sounding arrogant, these phrases strike the perfect balance. In my experience, this phrase immediately establishes credibility. In my experience, the most successful projects always start with clear communication. I've found that this suggests you've tested something and reached conclusions based on evidence. I've found that morning meetings tend to be more productive than afternoon ones. What I've learned over the years is, this phrase shows wisdom and experience. What I've learned over the years is that listening is often more powerful than speaking. I've observed that. This makes you sound analytical and thoughtful. I've observed that teams perform better when everyone understands their individual role in the bigger picture. Taking initiative and leadership. Confident people don't wait for others to take action. They step up and lead. These phrases will help you sound like a natural leader. I'll take responsibility for. This phrase immediately positions you as someone who takes ownership. I'll take responsibility for coordinating the client presentation. Allow me to. This is more confident than asking, can I? Allow me to explain how this process works. I'll make sure that. This phrase shows you're someone people can depend on. I'll make sure that all stakeholders receive the updated timeline by Friday. I'm prepared too. This shows you've thought ahead and you're ready for action. I'm prepared to present our findings to the board next week. Phrases for networking and relationship building. Building professional and personal relationships requires confidence. These phrases will help you connect with others naturally. I'd love to learn more about. This phrase shows genuine interest and opens doors for deeper conversations. I'd love to learn more about your experience in digital marketing. I'd be interested in exploring. This is perfect for professional networking. I'd be interested in exploring potential collaboration opportunities between our companies. I'd value your input on. This phrase shows respect while inviting engagement. I'd value your input on this new initiative we're developing. I believe there's great potential for. This phrase shows vision and forward thinking. I believe there's great potential for us to create something innovative together. Handling uncertainty with confidence. Here's something many people don't realize. You can sound confident even when you don't know something. The key is how you frame uncertainty. I don't have that information right now, but I'll find out for you. This is so much better than just saying, I don't know. It shows you're proactive and reliable. That's an excellent question, and here's what I know. This phrase acknowledges the question while sharing what you do know confidently. I'd like to research that further before giving you a complete answer. This shows thoroughness and professionalism rather than uncertainty. Let me connect you with the right person who can provide those details. This positions you as a helpful problem solver rather than someone who simply doesn't know. Phrases for presentations and public speaking. Whether you're giving a formal presentation or just sharing ideas in a group setting, these phrases will make you sound polished and professional. I'd like to draw your attention to, this is much more engaging than look at this. It shows you're guiding your audience thoughtfully. What's particularly noteworthy here is, this phrase helps highlight important points while showing your analytical thinking. I want to emphasize that. Use this when you need to stress important information. It shows you understand what matters most. The key takeaway here is, this phrase helps your audience understand what they should remember most from your presentation. Closing and follow-up phrases asterisk. How you end conversations matters just as much as how you start them. These phrases will help you close interactions confidently. I'm looking forward to moving forward with this. This phrase shows enthusiasm and commitment to action. I'm excited about the next steps. This demonstrates positive energy and forward momentum. I'll follow up with you by. This phrase shows organization and reliability. I'll follow up with you by Wednesday with the detailed proposal. I'm confident this will lead to great results. This ending leaves people feeling optimistic about working with you. Now, let me share one final story that ties everything together. I had a student named Alex who came to me feeling completely intimidated by English conversations. He worked in tech, but he felt like his ideas weren't being heard in meetings because he didn't sound confident when he spoke. We worked together on incorporating these exact phrases into his daily communication. 6 months later, Alex called me with incredible news. Not only had he been promoted to team lead, but his colleagues specifically mentioned his confident communication style as one of the reasons they trusted him with more responsibility. He told me that the transformation wasn't just in his English, it was in how he saw himself. When you sound confident, you begin to feel confident, and when you feel confident, opportunities start opening up in ways you never imagined. Here's what I want you to understand. Confidence in English isn't about perfection. It's about communication. It's about using language that reflects your true capabilities and potential. Every single phrase I've shared with you today has been tested in real-world situations by real people who wanted to sound more professional, more engaging, and more confident. Your English learning journey is unique, and you're making progress every single day, even when it doesn't feel like it. These 40 phrases aren't just words. They're tools that will serve you in job interviews, business meetings, social gatherings, and everyday conversations. They'll help you express your ideas more clearly, build stronger relationships, and create the professional image you want to project. Remember, confidence is a choice. Every time you choose to use "I'm confident that," instead of "I think maybe," you're making a choice to present yourself powerfully. Every time you say, "I appreciate you taking the time," instead of just "thanks," you're choosing to sound more professional and thoughtful. Practice these phrases, but more importantly, start using them. Confidence comes from action, not from preparation. The next time you're in a conversation, choose one or two of these phrases and use them. Notice how differently people respond to you. Notice how differently you feel about yourself. Your English is already better than you think it is. These phrases will just help everyone else hear what I already know, that you're intelligent, capable, and ready to succeed. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking with the confidence you deserve. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue building your English confidence together. Until then, remember, you're not just learning English, you're unlocking your potential. Keep shining.